Hi, everybody. I'm Ross Cook. Welcome. I own and operate the Center for Balance and Effective Communication. And today we're going to talk about hope. We're also going to talk a big dose of Meister Eckhart today. And that's always a little like rope-a-doping because he's just so direct and so strong and so powerful. So we'll start out with a little bit of Gandhi. Gandhi says, as human beings, our greatness lies not so much in our ability to remake the world, as in our being able to remake ourselves. And that's what we've been visiting about on and off for a few days now. How do you remake yourself? It's one of the greatest gifts of all time. We are a flexible event, and we get to choose to do it nicely and happily, and with some challenges and some, where am I going to get the energy, or we can just wait for life to come and tip our scales and hopefully change a lifetime of encodes and then get a bunch of different behaviors from it. So being able to remake yourself is the key of what we're going to talk about tonight. Meister Eckhart said that the eye with which I see God, in other words, how I perceive God, the way that I see it, is the same eye with which the God I believe in sees me. It's the same filter, one and the other. So somebody may have gigantic filters and they have this broad-based understanding and they feel it that way, know it that way, completely integral all the way through their values. That's what they do. That means the God that they believe in sees them in that same light. Somebody else may be doubting and worried. Well, that's the filter through which God can reach that person in expression. Okay? My eye and God's eye are one. Seeing are knowing, seeing and I, seeing one love. Now, here's the big point, is being willing to are you willing to be a beginner every single morning? Are you willing to be a beginner every single morning? Are you just willing to start over every day afresh? Or are we going to hold on to a bunch of stuff? Well, quite frankly, we know our name. We know what we're going to do. Our conscious mind is very good at that. It is our subconscious mind we're talking about a re-scripting. Meister Eckhart got in a lot of trouble in 1327 by saying we are all meant to be mothers of God. Every one of us, male, female, whatever, we are all meant to be mothers of God, for God is needing to be born in us every day. It doesn't matter what you think God is, but being born afresh, anew, that's the definition of what a beginner's mind is, being open and being really ready to go. One of my favorite movies is a movie called The Leap of Faith. And Steve Martin is in it. And it's about a tent ministry. And Steve Martin's a Shylock in it. He's a hustler. He's a mover and a shaker. And he's got it down. He's got it really tuned as to how to go into small towns and earn a lot of money out of these towns. Well, it turns out in this movie, he goes into a small town where the drought's been hitting them, and I mean, it's rough. And the local policeman is saying, these are the last people you need to be in here hustling, and you're the last people in here. And he has a big discussion about hope. He has a big discussion with them about, these are the people who need hope more than anybody else. And so Steve Martin, being the hustler, thinks he's given a little hope, and they get hope, and he gets a bunch of money. Meanwhile, someone's trying to protect him from, losing what little they have. Let's talk about hope for a second. Hope. I think there's a number of kinds of hope. I think there's day-to-day pedestrian hope. The kind of hope that, I hope I win the lottery, and instantly you get the New York Times of, that's not going to happen, or that doesn't believe it, that's really not going to happen. And your mind, and your conscious mind, your subconscious mind programs just roll out all the times when that hasn't been possible. And you think one, then you get the other. And the universe, God, flies over and says, which one of these stories, I hope I win hope, I hope I have hope, I hope I win, has X amount of energy, and all that stuff that says, no, that's not going to happen, has how much energy? And then the universe responds in kind. It responds in kind, and it brings you more of whatever it is you're energizing. That's why you can see some people just continue to win and make great plays at the 11th hour, and they do it again and again and again. It's because their values are congruent at a deep subconscious level to making that happen. And other people doubt in that moment, and they struggle, and in that very moment, they're like, oh, goodness, and then they get more of that energy from the world. The law of attraction exists at many, many, many levels. Okay. There's another kind of hope, and I choose to think of it as celestial hope. It is a big one. It is the one that when people are downtrodden, when people have nowhere to go, when they're really in trouble, when they're at their backs against the wall, they're at their last dime, they are struggling, and there is a clear channel. And you can think about how long people have been on this planet and how long people have needed hope. So if I and you are friends and we know each other, we have like a thought bubble, like a cartoon thought bubble, and that fills up with energy. Okay, and that's how we energize things, and the universe pays attention to it. Let me ask you a question. How many times do you think people have hoped with that last gasp, hope, hope, hope? How many thought bubbles and how big do you think that idea is in the universe? It's gigantic. And because it's so big, it's a very identifiable highway. It's not some little silken cord going from here to the God you know. It is a highway that you can attach to, maybe an ocean for heaven's sake, and it's big and it's powerful and it's alive because it's energetic. Can you tap into that kind of hope and leave your doubt behind? Do you have to be at wit's end to get in there? No, I don't think you can. Going back to Gandhi, as human beings, our greatness is not so much in our ability to remake the world, it's in our ability to remake ourselves. So I would remake myself along the value of hope. That would be profound in my life. You get to choose your values. You get to choose the transformers with which the universe is going to connect to you. The phone lines, essentially. And as you do it, you want to know that A, they're causal. The hopes the beliefs you have, whether it's hope or kindness, those would be big ones, because there's been a lot of kindness and a lot of hope in this world. Charity. There's been a lot of people wanting that and energizing that for a long time over the years. The other thing that goes with that is maybe you need clarity and honor in your relationships or friendship or just true love. And I don't mean love that's like good, bad love. I mean unconditional love. The kind of love that's so big we can't even wrap our mind and heart around it. And that's perfect because it leads us out into uncharted places. It leads us out into a place where no handrails exist and we just have to exist in the moment. That's what Gandhi's talking about. That's what Meister Eckhart is talking about, in that we have to be the mother of God, and God needs to be born every morning, every day. You have to remake yourself anew. Now let's think about just a couple other ideas quickly. Real self-possessions begin with the understanding. So you're going to self-manage yourself. You're going to self-possess yourself. That thought that says, I own this or I own that, that thought doesn't even own itself. It doesn't even own itself. It came from somewhere. Is that really what you would choose, to lean your ladder up on and climb up to the house of all your dreams, or the ideas of all your dreams and goals and imaginations and wonder in your life? No, you wouldn't. And real security isn't established by what you possess or how you interact. It is what is within what you truly are. Because that self-government, that self-management is based on values that are cleansed and worked so that you can really, truly trust them. They don't have an immediate army of doubt that just leaps up and possesses them. No, they are true and they're clear and they're valid. In the leap of faith, going back to that story, this town is in tough shape. They're struggling. And the policeman says, you've got to stop this. You can't do this. So in one of the pivotal talks of the entire movie, Steve Martin is rocking up there. He is doing the evangelical thing. He is the preacher. He is rolling, and he can roll it like few I've ever seen. And he has got this tent humming. And then he says, but here's the point. None of you are asking the question you want to know. You want to know, but he's made the point that the banks are closing their farms. The banks are knocking on their door demanding payment these people can't do. Their children aren't going to school. They have no future. They're worried. They're beaten down by what's happening to them all the time. And he stands up in front of them and he says, you want to ask the question, when's it going to rain? And everybody goes, oh yeah, but we're kind of afraid to ask that. When's it going to rain? And he says, when's it going to stop? When's it going to stop raining? when you gonna get those automatic negativities, those patterns, those lack of forgiveness, those lack of caring, that just knee-jerk doubt that jumps into your hope and your clarity and your unconditional love and your openness and your faith and your wonder, when it jumps right into your values and just immediately attacks them. When's it gonna stop? That's what it's up for you. When are you gonna make that happen? How are you gonna make it happen? You do it by journeying within. You do it by spending time in silence. As we heard last night from Melina, it's the silence of mind, the silence of your mouth, and the silence of your will. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to be forgiving? Are you willing to do all those things that will energize that in your life again? Yeah, I love seeing people come up here. Alex, hi. Heidi, hello. Mike, thanks for checking in. I'm loving bringing these messages to you, and it's vitally important. And let's go back to it's important in my life because it helps me in my clarity and my purpose. It helps me in my passion, and I hope it's helping you. Back to Meister Eckhart as we end. He said, only the hand that erases can write the true thing. You have to make room for the wonder that is you. It's been overlaid with all these roles. Make room for the magic and the wonder that is you. Erase some things. Find that true thing. It's an honor to be able to visit with you tonight, and I hope you're okay. And if you need anything, you can email me, rosscookbalancing@gmail.com. You can get me on this channel right here. I believe in you. You're really important. I love you. I love all that you love, and I love those that you love. We'll be talking and meeting again soon. I'm Ross Cook with the Center of Balance and Effective Communication and JOMO.